All right, we're swapping over to Red Dead Redemption, guys. We have a button meeting. For those of you that don't know what that means, it's basically like a kind of like a buy-in meeting almost, but in a very different way. I would say. All right, let's fucking do this. Let's fucking do this. See what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be a very interesting meeting, guys. This is a meeting of all made members of the crew. Everybody that's been made, they should be here. Ah, shit. Mm-mm-mm. 1 second, I'm setting up my audio real quick. Mm-mm-mm. All right, should be good. Expect a spicy meeting. Honestly, me too. I want to hear what everybody has to say about Joey Smith and Carlo Marciano. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be really fucking good.
Oh, it is. When I get to the telegram station, I'll pass the telegram to somebody and you can read it, do whatever.
Sure.
Good morning.
Morning. Excuse my
Cesare.
tardiness.
How you doing, Cesare?
Good to see you, Pearly.
Likewise.
Effie,
Cesare?
how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I like the suit.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, let's get this started then. Unlike the meeting yesterday, I have a feeling this one might go a little extended. And similarly, I think it depends rather entirely on you. The main reason at least, we're having this meeting is because Antonio Salerno has made a proposition. He has proposed that we open up the books. Effie, have a seat if you'd like.
Okay.
He's proposed that we open up the books, the likes of which have been closed for a very long time. And when was the last time anybody got bought in? Or made, rather.
Can't remember.
Effie and Sophia. Remember like it was yesterday.
How long ago was that, though? We're talking about 2 plus years, right?
Years, yeah.
About 2 years, yeah.
It's been a long time, for sure. As it should be.
Yeah. So it has been a very long time. In that 2+ year lapse, there hasn't been a necessity, nor has there been anybody really proposed to receive that button. So Antonio bringing it up, proposing it, is a big thing. And as with every time we have given somebody their button, made them for this family, we bring all the buttons together and we discuss it. We vote and we hear each other out. Arguments are made for and against. And I'll remind you that we have traditionally always insisted on a unanimous vote. If somebody were to vote against it for whatever reason, their arguments are to be heard. And if those arguments were to be valid, then that would stop somebody from receiving their button. So, Antonio, since you brought it up, tell us, who is it that you propose, and why?
Well, today I call you here today because I think it's about time. It's been a while since we opened up the books, and we got a lot of soldats, if you will, that have been around and pertaining to a lot of information, but have also grown alongside us. I would say one in particular as of late has been Joseph Smith. I recommend him here today because I've seen this man lead meetings. I've seen him obtain funds for his family in its time of need. And please, someone do correct me if I'm wrong, was around during that year in which the majority of the family was not. He's put in the work, he has bled for this family, this famiglia, if you will, and has almost died for it. That is why I propose Joseph Smith here today.
Okay. Joey Smith. Long-standing affiliation with the family. As long as perhaps, some others here, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong, but, Joey Smith was, started coming around with you, Effie. Is that correct?
No.
Am I mistaking him? Was he not, a part of, the whole thing with the cut as
No,
well?
he wasn't.
No.
No.
Joey was
Who was
around.
with the cut then?
I was Norman.
You're thinking of Norman.
Norman. Okay.
Joey.
But I have a feeling it was around that time as well, though. I'm sure I'm not
Joey
mistaken.
started
He
out
was
as
not.
sort of like an associate working for me doing some things. a long time ago, and then he started working for Amadeo. But he came around a bit after. I don't recall when he arrived, but he came around a bit after the whole thing with the kind.
Yeah, I do remember loosely associating him with that era at the very least, with the cut era. Okay, so we're talking about 4 years, maybe 3.5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Then that he's been associated and working with the family, with members of the family. It's come a very long way, an extremely long way.
I don't think. Yeah, it's only been about 2, really.
2.5.
2.5 is generous.
I mean, he started working with us after I joined the family, so that's it's about 2 years.
Okay, still a very long time, a very long time. He's done an incredible job, no doubt. So Tony Salerno proposes a button for Joey Smith. And the moment he did, I immediately thought of another person, Carlo Masciano, who has also done.
Go ahead.
Who has also done quite a lot for the family throughout the years, who's also bled for this family, and has earned, in my opinion, quite a bit of respect as of late. So, we'll discuss each one of these people in turn, share opinions. I feel like Joey Smith is a little bit less of a contentious point, I don't feel like there would be any particular issues. Does anybody have any issues with Joey Smith? Any concerns? Speak now.
Boy lost his mind over clocks and blew up the clock store over there next to the doctor's office. Yeah.
I like Joey. I find him to be a little bit unpredictable. I was also going to mention the clock shop. He took a tanker and blew it up. That was some time ago, and I understand he is he's pulling his weight a bit more. He was away for the best part of 6 months, maybe a bit longer. Personally, I feel it's maybe not the right time, but I'm on the fence right now.
You see, I don't even remember that. I don't remember this whole situation with the whole clock thing. What was that all about?
He just lost his mind, as Pearlie said one day, and took a tanker and blew it up outside the shop.
Are we 100% certain we're not talking about
No, it's definitely Joey.
Big Joe?
No. It's Joey.
You say lost his mind. People don't just lose their minds overnight and then or find the next day.
Well,
You're referring to like maybe a bit of a weird episode he had, or are you talking about he genuinely went psychotic and lost his mind and was a mess?
I didn't see it happen. I remember we was there in town that day when it happened. Who else was there? Sophia?
Yeah, I remember him telling us this, yeah. I can't remember why. There was a reason.
It was the ticking of the clocks.
Is that all it was?
Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure Joey admitted that he kind of lost it, and the ticking of the clocks got him, so he blew it up.
When was this? Just to be clear.
Maybe about a year and a half.
It was just before he left.
I think was it before or after? It was around that time.
It was just before he left.
I know he blew something up with a tanker. I didn't know it to be that, no, or at least remember it to be that.
Honestly, he was with Amadeo at the time, and I was very surprised that he wasn't punished for it. I mean, we went to war over somebody blowing up the ice cream parlor.
Jeez, okay. So I mean that right before we left, that was it's over a year and a half ago then, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
No, right before he left, so it was about a year ago.
I think the conversation should be more about what he's done and where does he excel as a soldier.
Well,
Sure.
if I may, I could add on to a little bit what's been said already, if I may.
Of course.
because those of us who have been around lately may have seen this in Joey, but I think what I'm about to say is something I know he doesn't want necessarily everyone to know, but it is very important for us around this table to know about it. Joey used to be a soldier. And because of that, he does have certain challenges. Sometimes, under great distress, he might have, let's call them episodes. I don't know how to explain them. Maybe somebody who knows a little bit about what that life might be like could shed some light on it, but he has these episodes where he shuts down and is not himself. I haven't seen him do anything bad, but last time it happened, he did go outside on the balcony while being heavily injured and almost froze to death because we didn't know he was out there. So that is my only concern with Joey, is those episodes, but I'm also not going to hold it against him having that challenge from something, he doesn't have any control over. He's open about it to me and a couple others, so that is a good thing.
Everybody leaves war differently. No doubt. I myself saw many men affected in a similar way as you're describing by war. It's not an easy thing to overcome. It's good to take into account. But others here in this family have been to war and come out of it in different ways, and as far as I could tell, for Joey, it doesn't seem to stop him from performing anything in any particular way as we require it. Do you consider that to be a problem then, Sophia? Is that why you mentioned this? Is it something that you would think would hinder him or cause him perhaps to lose his mind? Is that why you're bringing it up?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if that had anything to do with the whole blowing up the clock shop.
Okay.
But no,
I did not know about this.
I wouldn't say it's a problem, but it's something to take note of at the very least.
Okay.
I wonder why he didn't talk to Sonny or Cesare about that. I feel like something they should know.
About war?
No, about his issue, right? I mean, it's kind of an important thing if he's prone to having moments like that.
People have secrets. People have traumas. I'm sure everybody here in this table has them to a degree. Nobody really talks about them because they're personal.
It's true. That is very true. Personally, I don't see it as a problem. It is simply a scar that he bears, and we have to support him as best we can, as we do with everybody, and the scars that they bear. I do have one concern with Joey. Now, another part of this meeting, which we'll talk about afterwards, I suppose, is we seem to have lost our ability to remember things, or at least I have, personally. So, correct me, please, wherever I am wrong. But Joey was made a soldat under Amadeo, correct?
Yes.
Therefore, he was never made a soldat with us, correct?
Yes.
Something to take into account. Joey Smith is not a soldat for this family. Go ahead, Scarpy. If you have something to say about it, go ahead.
I do. In the sense that I suppose a direct conversation was never had, at least while I was taking up the mantle and leading the family. I never sat Joey down and said, "You are a soldat now, the DiCenzo famiglia." However, when the folks came over from Amadeo's, it was, in my opinion, heavily implied. I don't think Joey has any conception or any, he doesn't go around thinking I'm a soldier of Amadeo's crew, but I'm not really welcome here, or I'm not soldat here. I think Joey Smith completely understands that he's a soldat of the DiCenzo famiglia, even if it's not, I didn't sit him down or put it in writing or whatever.
Think of it as some
It's
sort
understood.
of transfer, if you want. To put it into simple terms.
It's the same situation with Palladini.
And Effie. Sophia, sorry, not Effie. I'm sorry, Effie spoke. And Sophia.
I suppose you could make the same argument for Sophia, yeah.
Sophia was made under Amadeo. Well, we were all there for the ceremony. But it was him that put her forward, so...
But no one
Same
questions
argument,
if Sophia is,
The same argument could be made there. So I'm inclined to agree with my brother that Joey, although not officially recognized or not ceremoniously recognized as a soldat of the DiCenzo famiglia, by all accounts is a soldat.
And I'll extend... Sorry, just one last thing I'll say. I'll extend that also to Joey Stranzetto and Palladini. I'd sat all three of those boys down, and I made them very aware that they're my boys. They work under me. That was discussed and understood entirely. I didn't speak the words, "You are a soldat of the DiCenzo famiglia now," in writing and understood. But those three boys understand that they work for me.
Joey isn't a soldat.
Joey Stranzetto.
No, he's an associate.
No, I'm aware, but that conversation was had with all of them. You're now my boys. Back when, So they understand that there's no misconceptions there, even if it's not directly said.
Cesare.
We gotta understand as well that we ain't talking just about any other family in the city. Amadeo is a product of this family. So anything that happened on that end was to be respected on our end and treated as equal in that sense. So anybody made soldat, button, capo regime, consigliere was to be respected in that regard. If, well, in this case, after the fall of the Moretti family. Why do you bring it up,
Thinking
Santino?
about it, well, because the steps that one takes in progressing, if you will, through certain positions in the family, I think are important. And if Joey, perhaps himself, wasn't under the right impression, believed himself to maybe not be a soldat for this family, then I would have an issue with that. Because here we are talking about making the man, who possibly himself doesn't believe himself to even be a soldat. So, if you guys are saying that, then that's absolutely fine. I do now, thinking about it more and discussing it, I do remember at some point, I think we discussed with Amadeo that any maid members on his end would indeed be respected by us and whatnot. I think he even consulted us on all of that on his end, including soldats and associates and whatnot. We were very much still in contact with Amadeo throughout his whole organization's tenure about soldiers and ranks and whatnot. So, yeah, you're all right. Okay, perfect. That is out of the way then. Any other issues with Joey? Go ahead.
Just to relieve from my side of things in regards to Joey Smith. I know very little of the man other than a few brief encounters. He seemed to know more about me than I know about him. Seems like a smart guy, dedicated. But I think the fair decision in this case is for me to defer my vote to my brother. I'll allow him to cast it in my name. So I think that's the best.
No
For
deferring.
me.
Make a decision based off of what you hear here around the table. Nobody makes a vote for you. You got a button for a reason.
All right.
Okay. Then before we start casting votes, unless somebody has something else to bring up with regards to Joey Smith, I think it's important to kind of define what it is that we expect of maid members. and have expected of maid members throughout the years. What, I suppose, then, that means what we expect of all of you. I've always seen a maid member as somebody that we have confided in several aspects. One, sound judgment, decision-making, if you will, that will always keep the family's best interest at heart. We would not make somebody who we did not trust to make decisions on behalf of the family in certain situations. That comes along with, tangentially perhaps, leadership. We would not make somebody who we could not trust to be put in charge of something in our absence, or for a specific purpose. Another thing, somebody who is willing to bleed for this family and pay the ultimate price for this family. And lastly, somebody who is able to earn for this family. Somebody who has endeavored in one way or another to bring money in and have everybody eat. It's a very summarized version of my conception of a maid person for this family. Does anybody have any disagreements, anything that they would add to that definition?
No.
Perfect.
When we discussed Sophia and Effie, we looked for their thing. What was the shining accomplishment, achievement? What was it that they brought that no one else did? What did they excel in? As long as we can put forward these two individuals with that, I don't even know what the right wording is for, but that shining accomplishment or that dedication to this family.
Unique moment.
Yeah, that unique moment that sets them aside from anyone else.
Yeah, I have thought about this. Cesare, you mentioned something like this to me as well yesterday.
Yeah. It's been something that, here's what it is. It's a catalyst, essentially, right? It's a point in time when we realize and know that this person is worthy. Has that happened with either of the people that have been mentioned? Solano.
Well, no.
Solano brings up Joey. What do you have to say?
Well, in terms of what Joey has done, I'll name a specific moment in time. Please, Centino, correct me if I'm wrong, but he did help you with that, with that nitro with them boys out west, correct?
He did.
Here's a question. Okay. He led that meeting in that office. I saw the way he talked. He wasn't bullheaded, as I could be sometimes, as others can be. He listened, and he got the job done. More frankly, he got product into our hands. Money. Scotto. Sorry, I'm an old guy.
Is that the meeting where he was promised all the bank bonds, which he never got?
I believe so.
No.
I think we followed up. Was it?
Well, okay, no, we're talking about two different meetings. There was one that we had with Nathan from Armadillo, and then a separate one with those fellas, yes. We never received those bank bonds.
Okay. So, I mean, can we talk about actual accomplishments, not some fucking nitro deal? Was
I will
would
say,
it's an accomplishment, no.
I mean, yes and no. What that demonstrates perhaps is an ability to lead. Take lead with the situation, and I will give Joey all of his flowers, if you will, for that. He is very capable of taking lead of a situation, a business deal, whatever it is, representing the family. But I would not count that as something outstanding. I would not call that his shining moment.
I want to say that he's a fantastic mentor. He was at the Meridian house. Anyone that was new around the house, he would immediately take them under his wing and show them the ropes. And I still see him doing that. And that is something I think he definitely excels in.
Do we have an example of somebody who was under Joey's watchful care that has now risen to become something more?
Fucking love Pearly, bro.
No, not at the moment.
Well, what I was going to ask was, does he teach people, these new people under his care, does he teach them the foundation of respect them in the family? Does he... You said show them the ropes. He doesn't just take them out and show them how to do shine or something like that. He shows them this is how we do it. This is how the family does it, and this is how you'd be expected to do it. Present yourself, look, act, talk.
Oh, absolutely. Joey's the first one to step in if somebody is acting disrespectful. Latest example last night, those people that were talking about Tony's leg. He was the first one to step in and say, "What the fuck are you talking about over there?"
I would say that this is bread and butter stuff, really. This is what we should be expecting from soldats, to be making money and to be displaying respect, as any member of the family should.
Displaying it and making money, sure, but to be passing it down to the new blood, that's something you'd expect to see from the likes of the Buttons.
Right.
He's already
and
acting and talking, walking the Button life.
Right. So who were they? Who was he teaching?
Sometimes people come around and we take interest in some folks who, perhaps don't work out for whatever reason that they might present themselves. But I can personally speak to Joey taking up that attitude and that mantle of guiding. I've seen that myself. Now, if you're asking for names specifically, I know I've seen him at least try and teach Joey Stranzetto some things. He confides with Palladini on these things as well. I've seen these firsthand, and as we've said, he does do this. This is an attitude that I've seen in person and witnessed, It's not just us throwing it out there saying, oh, he might do it, he does do it, or whatever. I personally have seen it. But if you're asking who Joey Smith has propped up and, dragged up from the dirt and made something out of him, then I can't give you a name. But I would argue that not many people here at this table could give that name either.
No, because there is no such person. But that doesn't remove that quality from Joey entirely, right? I agree with both Scarpo and Sophia here that he does have that quality. He displays it with people who, even, people that wouldn't be considered somebody that he's trying to, shape up for the family. He just does it in general with anybody. It's a very good quality to have. You're right. He's a sort of mentor, if you will. People also look up to him and respect him because of that. He's a respectable man as a result. But a specific example of somebody he has propped up as of late? No. I mean, he's done this shit with street kids that have come into the house. He's done this shit with guests. He's told people things like, hey, even just the simple things like take your fucking hat off and take your gloves off. He told, I'm pretty sure he told Barletti something about what he was wearing in the house one day.
Right. But
he holds a high value for respect, an extremely high value for respect.
I agree with
One thing
Effie
I
on
would
this
add
point,
about-
and it's that it should be expected from everybody. That is a soldat and above, at the very least.
Sure, we're ticking boxes here, though. Something that needs to happen, something they need to have.
I want to make a counter argument, not necessarily because I particularly believe in what I'm about to say, but we have to consider something. Shining moments are few and far between. They are a scarce resource, if anything. I mean, I can really only think of a few in the past. Where you could say, wow, this was an exceptional moment. This person has earned something here because of an exceptional moment. Is it really something we should consider a requirement, a hard requirement? If you do not have a shining moment specifically where we can say, this is what you did, you've earned your button because of this.
I don't think necessarily needs to be a certain moment. It's just something that you built or, you know, put together or shown that you can do.
Well,
The word exceptional was used. Something
Right, because,
outstanding.
you know, for examples, we used, you know, Effie's networking with her information web that she's got. Always being great. Sophia's showing nothing but she's always been there when needed. You know, countless of nights sitting on rooftops watching over the city, looking out for his goddamn doctor skills. You know, it's not one moment. It's not a moment. So
But I think that's what makes being made such a, you know, it's a privilege to have that, because you have worked damn hard for it. I think having a moment sets you apart from a soldier, and I think it is something we should consider. And like you always say, not everybody gets a button. Maybe somebody is just a damn good soldier, and they always will be, and that's fine. But I think there has to be something that sets people apart to get their button.
I think something like a shining moment would probably be most clearest in like Mikey's instance, right?
Mikey's
that was a
situation,
very clear, defining moment that separated him from not button material to button material. Not saying he didn't earn that button beforehand, but that what Mikey did with going out west and providing the extremely valuable information and situation, that was his shining moment. And I'd say no one's even come close to getting anything close to that defining, you know. But as y'all are saying, there are moments that add up. It's not just one situation, and this is why we're ticking boxes right now with asking if attitudes and whatnot, and you know, is someone even fit for this? Because only a certain type of person gets a button. Not as if he said, not everyone will get a button.
Well, that was my point in bringing up the shining moment thing. As we just discussed with Pearl, as probably just discussed with Effie and Sophia, their shining moment was a conglomerate of a lot of individual smaller things. The sitting on the rooftop for hours on end, the spy network you had, you know, all of that comes together. That's your thing. That you were our information source for a very long time. You were our eyes in the fucking sky for a very long time, Sophia. You know, what does this gentleman bring? What does Joey bring to the table? A lot of respect, by the sounds of it, is one very good thing, and that is definitely a check in my box. I'll give him that.
Maybe he needs to be tested more.
Can I, Sentinel, after my failure with the guns, how did he get on with that?
He did fantastically.
We have guns.
We have guns. Him and Salerno here have stocked us and supplied us with guns.
Okay. I mean, there's something we could bring up as well, and something that he could, you know, utilize more for in the future. He, I don't know, but I don't know if he has a lot of great connections on that. But if he was able to do that, maybe that could be his thing as well.
He was
Does
able.
Joey...
See, hold on, Effie, because now it's starting to sound like the bar is pretty fucking low. We are celebrating the purchase of weaponry.
No, it's not specifically just that. What we're celebrating there, what we're rewarding there, is that he took control of a situation that was frankly a goddamn shit show in somebody else's hands, and made it into something that became quite valuable. We required guns, and he got them.
As far as my understanding, it was an order given to him to go get the guns, and he fulfilled the order.
That's what I was going to ask. Has he done anything independently off his own back, or has everything that he's done been with someone else or instructed?
I will say Joey shows great drive. A lot of people do come around and just waddle or porch sit and, you know, expect things to be handed to them to want to play. There are, you know, many individuals that can just point that name to and say they do that. Joey does often show initiative. He tries to get out there and do stuff. He's the first person to go talk to someone on the street, you know. Whether he does so successfully or not, out of his awkwardness is a different question entirely. But Joey Smith does show drive, and he attempts to fulfill many different moments. You can see it in him. The stuff he attempted to do with the sit down stuff for all the Italian families in Saint Denis. I would argue there's not many people in the crossing that could even accomplish something like that and make it work. But still, he got up and he tried to do it, right? He shows that initiative. Some people just come around and just waddle.
Well, yeah, but Sissy did that. She ran the business council for a while. She did quite a few meetings.
And I'm not saying that is his defining moment or an excellent moment, but what I am saying is he does show the attitude there. And, I'm not casting my vote. I'm just adding to it here.
No, I agree, but I'm trying to define if he's actually achieved something off his own back.
I will say, in the regards of him setting up that meeting with everybody here in the city, he had been gone for a very long time. He came back to a Saint Denis where some folk didn't even know him. He said, fuck it, he gonna throw this meeting together, and he made it happen. I would say that is something, that's not for nothing. But the main thing to keep in mind is, when you talk about giving somebody a button, is that a soldier that you can see stand next to you and you can look at him as an equal? He's on the same level as you now. I'm not saying say yes or no now. This is, something for y'all to think about.
Okay, well, look, I think we're talking about different degrees of achievement, right? We're talking about initiative with meetings. We're talking about just initiative in general, motivation, independence, and thinking and whatnot. All of these are important. I think there's a lot of these things are basic things that we would simply demand and expect of a soldier as well. But remember what I mentioned earlier: decision-making, leadership, money-making, and bleeding. Those are the 4 pillars, in my opinion, of something that would earn somebody their button. All of it. So let's check those off if we can and make arguments specifically around those. And then if you have anything else to add, we'll add it and then head to a vote.
So my question is this. In our absence, in the absence of made members, can Joey Smith carry out decision-making for the family? Yes or no? I want to hear from everybody on the table, starting from my left.
Yes. I believe you can.
From what I'm hearing, yeah, I can't give a fair decision on this, so I'm just gonna say yes for now. I from what I'm hearing, yes.
Right, for clarity's sake, Cesare, you mean should everyone here not be present at a meeting? Or this is basically you asking, do you trust Joey Smith to represent the family and its entire values in your absence, right?
Correct.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of when everybody had gone and it was myself, Pearlie, and Sophia left, and what we had to do to keep things going. I don't think Joey could do that. Certainly not alone. I think if he had support with him, sure, but I don't think he's at that level yet.
You're basing this off of a different timeline. How long ago was this?
I'm basing it off your question. If none of us were around, would Joey be able to continue on with family and carry meetings and carry a business like we had done? And I'm using us as an example. I don't think he would be able to do the same.
I forgive me. I don't think that's what I understood the question to be. I don't think the question was, can Joey Smith lead the family in anyone's absence? I thought it was, can Joey Smith represent the family if nobody was, or if, say for instance we were asleep, or do you trust Joey Smith's word to go out there and speak for the family?
He should be able to do that already. Well, I mean,
Well,
yeah, if
well-
it's doing meetings and representing the family, then yeah, of course, you should be able to do
well,
that.
I'm
let's-
not putting
let's-
words in your mouth, Cesare, but you're not asking, can Joey Smith lead the family?
No. I'm asking if exactly what you said. So let's compare him. I hate doing comparisons, but let's just compare him to, I don't know, Palladini perhaps. Would Palladini be able to make a decision in our absence? Represent our values, everything we stand for? Would he be able to do it better than Joey, as it currently stands?
Currently, no.
Exactly. Because Palladini's still in a learning stage, from what I understand.
But
Hold-
Paladini's not really around. Joey is. So at the moment,
I'd argue even if Palladini was around, the same, I would have the same response. It's not a matter of activity or presence at that point. It's a matter of the person. There's the man in question.
well, yeah,
at that
no, I
point.
agree. From what I know about Palladini recently, yeah.
Same argument could be made, Dan, about Winchester. Would you trust Winchester with something like that?
Exactly.
No.
He's a soldier.
Well, so was Joey, and that's what we're discussing. Would we trust Joey more than we would trust Winchester with this situation?
Comparisons
Exactly.
are dangerous. Comparisons are dangerous here, and
No, they're
let's
not,
make
because
this about
we're saying that all of our soldiers should uphold our values and be able to make these decisions. I'm making the distinction between Joey and the rest. I'm highlighting the fact that Joey, according to you guys here, can make these decisions in comparison to the others. To the soldats. It's kind of the point I'm trying to make, come across here.
sure.
No, I mean, you're right. In comparison to the other soldats, and that goes across the board, really. People who have been around and have not been around, I would confide in Joey more than I would confide in them. For this particular thing, making decisions and representing the family values. You have my vote. It isn't my turn, but you have my vote. I do trust Joey to represent the family correctly.
So, I ask you again, Effie. I just want to hear your answer. Is it a yes or a no? Based off of what we just discussed.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Pearly.
Well, I probably just have a bad taste in my mouth for how Joey got hoodwinked by them two goofies out west and sold all of Sophia's dynamite for the promise of 200 bank bonds, which he never got. So I wouldn't trust him, no.
Okay. Bonzo.
I vote yes.
Sophia.
I think Joey has a very good understanding what the family is and what it would want, so yes.
Seems like the majority agree with it to an extent. It is important, though, that as made members, we can rely on each other and respect the fact that somebody's earned their button. Which is why being unanimous is important. I do understand Pearlie's perspective on the matter. I just wanted to know your answers. Continue, Santino.
Well, I mean, that's simply one aspect, right? Let's try to maybe move this along a little bit quicker. But, so that aspect is representing the family's values. Do you all consider him to have earned the title of bread maker, breadwinner? Somebody who can earn for the family? I'll take silence as everybody saying yes. If you have a no, then say it.
I will say that I have heard of what he's told me about how he goes to Armadillo and shoots birds to make money. So as a businessman, no. As a bird hunter, yes. Is that what we're looking for?
I will throw my 2 cents in here. I have personally always tried to push everyone and to create and manage their own business, get something going, and present it as something the family can use. I've always tried to push Joey Smith in this direction, and I will say here in front of everyone, he's always struggled. He's always struggled to make business happen, and maybe it's not always his fault, but he does defer to doing more, how you say, simpler tasks to make money. He would rather go work on a ranch for like 4 hours straight and earn some money that way instead of attempting to set up connections and orchestrate business in that manner. So my answer would be no.
When Joey started working for me, he was running Shine, and he did do that well. I mean, there was a couple of times he was arrested, unfortunately. So given a task to do and given an instruction, he can do it, but I haven't seen any initiative in terms of doing his own thing. I've seen his business ideas and I've heard them, but I've never seen him follow through on any of them.
Okay, you asked me as well. I have my doubts and my reservations about particularly calling him a good earner. So I pose a question in this particular way then. If we were to put Joey in charge of the cocaine enterprise that we're intending on pursuing now, would you consider that he would be successful in charge of it? And success that there is to be measured in he would bring in a lot of money as a result of it.
It's a difficult question because, like it was said, I feel like he could do anything we put him up to do. He does follow through. It's the taking initiative part that, at least from my end, I'm concerned about a little bit.
Okay, so there seems to be a disagreement there. All right, or at least not everybody is comfortable with necessarily checking that box for Joey, which is fine. I don't think there should be any doubt that Joey would bleed for this family, that he would die for this family. Is there any doubt about that?
Nah,
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Nope. Puts it all out there. 100%.
Perfect. And then the last thing is leadership. Do you think people respect him enough within the family that he could be, in certain circumstances, we have done this in the past. An example is when we had the boroughs, that we put people in the position of capo regime. That we have appointed certain people to be consiglieri, for example. Or simply somebody that organizes another group that works in close affiliation for the family. Example here would be Tony Salerno and his ragazzi. The boroughs, like I said, with all the capo regimes. Sergio and Pearlie here, in their representation with the family as consiglieris. Sergio with his war general position, etc., etc. Now, I mentioned those names specifically because of the examples that come in mind, but I'm quite sure that anybody here put into a position of leadership that would be respected and people would follow. Right? Does Joey have that quality, do you think?
I honestly can't even really say.
Is that because you're not sure or because you just don't know, Pearlie?
It's because I don't know. I've never seen him in a setting where that would even be considered. As far as his demeanor goes, probably not. Would he try his best? I bet he would.
You say probably not, but can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like, what is it that stands out that makes him not suitable for that?
The way I see him conduct himself in the street and approach people and talk to people on the street is not. I've never been too impressed by it.
Like it's amateurish, fooling around.
No, more so the coming off as if, big and bad. I see him do that sometimes. I never understood why.
Okay.
Does anybody here know what I'm talking about?
I know
Yeah,
what you're
sometimes
talking about.
yeah.
I think I know.
There's always
So
be more,
it's like
more
me.
than awkward.
A little bit
maybe
like
a
me.
little bit. No,
I think
I
it's the
wouldn't even compare it
confidence
to that.
thing.
Yeah.
I think Joey lacks a bit of confidence. Certainly, in the early days, he was very nervous to talk to anyone about anything. He's a bit better now, but like Sergio mentioned earlier, he still has, I think, some problems with being nervous when talking.
I do agree with that. I will also add my 2 cents to that. Joey does lack confidence. I've seen it myself in several situations.
In his defense, and I'm not, I'm going to stick up for the guy here. Do you know how intimidating it is? Like, even talking at this table, we're all very close people. Do you know how intimidating it is to just open your mouth around everyone here? Like, I understand his lack of confidence. That's something that could come with time. That's something that could come with this getting his button. That could be the confidence boost he needs.
I actually do agree. I think not that the button is for any reason some little like scouts on a badge that somebody gets and all of a sudden they're able to do things. It's like some magic miracle. But I think if Joey did get his button, it would boost his confidence to the extreme. You know, I think he would be able to handle that in a much more controlled and mature manner.
But why
But
would it take getting a button?
Nah, I know, that's what I'm saying. It should not take the button. That's what I'm trying to say.
Shouldn't take the button, but that's also the sign of trust. That's the family saying, we do trust you. What you're doing is the right thing. What you have said so far has been the right shit. You're doing the right thing, and we trust you for it. And here's our sign of respect for it.
Well, maybe
If that's the decision we go down, well, maybe we do need to just tell, like, hey, that's the other thing. You know, we're not always the best at communication here. Let's be real.
Yeah, something we should most definitely endeavor to fix. But I will say one thing with regards to this. Confidence is the example being used, but there are other things that this will apply to. The man should earn the title, and the title should not be filled by the man. You know what I'm trying to say? Just because we give somebody a title and then all of a sudden, you know, they're expected to be, you know, considered a made man and whatnot, that's not the way it should be. People should earn the title. If somebody's to be a captain, they should already have become everything a captain should be before becoming a captain, before being told they are a captain. The same applies here for being made. We're not going to give somebody a title and then expect them to fill the shoes of the title. No. We give them the title because they've already filled those shoes. If he's not confident, and we give him a title and he becomes confident, that's not the way it works. Yeah, it can be intimidating to speak up and voice an opinion even at this table, Mikey. But all of us here, without a doubt, I know for a fact, would make your voice heard. And you wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. I agree. Joey lacks confidence. I'd like to see him develop more in that sense, but I will say he has taken small leaps in small hops, if you will, in that direction. He has taken leadership and controls of situations. I've seen him. Yes, he is awkward. He is a little bit timid when it comes to it. Given more time, I have no doubt that Joey could become a good leader in this family, and people would respect him for it. I already respect him to a degree with leadership in the family. That even goes as far as acknowledging again what Sophia brought up, his mentoring attitude. That quality in him that I respect quite a bit. Now, we've discussed all 4 pillars that I had mentioned. The defining moment, I will say, it seems like we have agreed almost indirectly that it could be one of 2 things. An actual moment, like the case of Mikey, for example. Or it could be an accumulation of things over time. Somebody who has excelled in all aspects that I've mentioned, but has not had defining moment, should not be denied a button because of that lack of moment. In my opinion. Is there anything else to discuss about Joey before we bring this to a vote? Salerno, we'll start with you. This is the final vote for somebody receiving that button, Joey Smith. Go ahead.
Yes for me.
Bene. Mikey.
It's a yes from me.
Scarpo.
It's a yes from me.
Effie.
I am going to say no for now, but what I would like to add though is I think we should give him a timeline and tell him that he's been considered for his button and see if he can improve his confidence and maybe his initiative in that timeline.
It's not a job opportunity. He's got to. You don't tell someone you're up for being made.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
It's a shape up or don't shape up kind of deal.
I just don't think he's ready right now.
Okay. And
But I don't want to completely shut it down forever. I just don't think it's ready right at this moment.
that's okay. Vote with how you truly feel. And if you truly feel no, then that's your vote.
Okay,
And that's not my vote
then
for now.
on the nature of this being a unanimous vote, Joey Smith will not receive his button after the vote is concluded. But I do want to hear everybody else's vote. Hurley?
Well, it seems what we have described here is an ideal soldier. There has been nothing mentioned that is exceptional. It would be a no for me.
Alfonso?
I vote yes.
Sophia?
I vote yes.
My vote is yes as well. Cesare?
A life-changing moment. Is he ready? The biggest question in the room. Is he ready now? Perhaps not. Can he be ready? Most certainly. It's on us to push him in that direction. My vote is no. Not yet. But like I said, I feel it's only fair that as his name was put in the book, or, well, we tried, I suppose, putting it in the book, that we push him and test him to become the made man we want him to be. All these qualities we spoke of, in which he lacks, I want to see a collective effort from everybody to push him to be a better man, a made man.
I agree. That falls upon everybody at this table. We've considered him because whether we voted yes or no just now, we see qualities in Joey that could perhaps earn him his button. Push him in that direction. We've done it with others in the past. Push him the right way. Guide him. This is not a no for eternity for Joey. We'll revisit when the time is appropriate. Bene. All right. And
You said
funnily
you thought
enough,
Joey would be the quiet or the short one, right?
Yeah.
I thought, yeah. So on to that. Honestly, I was considering that we would all vote yes for Joey. Yet, things were brought up, arguments were made, and I think they were all quite solid across the board. Now we discuss the one that I would consider more contentious. Carlo Masciano. Now, I bring him up, and it is my responsibility then to make arguments for him. To begin, at least. I bring the kid up, because, in my opinion, he's earned quite a lot of respect, and he's done quite a bit for the family throughout the years. Now, arguments could be made, and I will obviously hear them from you now, but if we were to consider somebody for a button, somebody like Joey for a button, then I think we should also consider somebody like Carlo Masciano for a button. They're not the same, and comparisons are unfair, but he's earned quite a bit in my eyes. Mind you, this is coming from somebody who at one point, I believe a discussion was had years ago about killing the kid. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I voted in favor. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, if it weren't for your good graces, Cesare, the kid would be dead. But he's come a long way. Carlo Masciano has bled for this family, perhaps in ways that others have not and will never bleed for this family. He has stood by us, war through war. He is loyal to us, even to the point of having recently done away with very personal relationships with other people for the family. So I'd like to hear if there are any initial thoughts, initial comments about Carlo. I'd like to hear them now. I'm sure we're about to get an earful. So, would anybody like to start?
I'm gonna go straight at your pillars. Do you trust him to make decisions on behalf of the family? Does everyone at this table trust him to do that? I sure don't.
Are you asking Sonny or us?
I mean, everyone at the table. That's what I'm saying. I sure don't.
Hell no.
I want to remind everybody that silence is in and of itself a yes. So if you have a disagreement, you best speak up. Soleno, Scott Patty, Fonzo, Sophia.
Yeah, so
Hold on, before you get to that, I want to make something very clear here. Carlo has had a bit of a comical background. He's seen as the kid. He's seen as the boy who lived. All of this shit. But this is serious. And it's a serious matter that he's being considered. So all jokes around and fuckery. Let's think of the man himself, Carlo Masciano. And make decisions and state your opinions based off of logic, be rational, and not because of emotions, because you just don't like the guy. Go
When
ahead.
we first started discussing Joey Smith, a comment was brought up about him bringing an oil tanker against a clock shop for the ticking clock, about him losing his mind. The reason Carlo's head was on the table was because he did lose his mind. Twice, if I recall correctly. To the point where we had to hold a vote to decide whether or not to bleed him out. He shot a made member of this family, and he wasn't even a soldat. And I know now that person was indeed a traitor, and she got what she deserved. But at the time, he shouldn't have made that decision, and he didn't, because he had a screw loose at the time. He called her his, I don't know, was it his dead girlfriend, his dead wife? I can't remember. It was 2 years ago.
That was that moment though. After that, when he was back in his right mind, he hid from the family and lied to Cesare.
Yeah, well, I was coming to that. He then hid from the family. Something about the Mimico in the snow. We had to go and find, someone had to go and find him, or he eventually turned himself up to the family. Now, Olivia McDermott, she had her own story to tell. We'll never know the full truth. None of us were actually there. But both sides cooperated that he shot first. He said her name. His ex-girlfriend's name that was, or his dead girlfriend's name that was. I think it was Alice? Does anyone remember?
It was Sophia.
It was Sophia. My apologies, it was Sophia. And he almost started a war with the West. Now, don't get me wrong, Jonathan Bass was a piece of fucking work. But when we discuss the pillars of being a made member of this family, make decisions on behalf of the family, and you expect me to be able to trust him to make those decisions after pulling a stunt like that when he wasn't even a soldat? Put in charge of something whenever Buttons aren't around? And I know this was 2 years ago. I got nothing else to go on. I'm sorry. I haven't been around long enough. I haven't spoken to him recently, so I'm going on what I know.
So that is a good point to make. Now, I understand that Carlo has had a very rough history in the past, particularly with that. But for those of you that haven't been around, it would be unfair, in my opinion, to only weigh in on this decision based on what you remember from 2 years ago.
Well, that's why I'm having the conversation now.
Exactly.
I want you to prove me wrong.
In comparison to the people that have been around and have seen him as of late.
Has he changed?
Exactly.
I would say not really. I know, Cesare, you've asked us to not consider the fucking around, but honestly, that's mostly of what I see from Carlo. Quite recently, he was out west shooting up Kettleman Canyon. That could have started some problems with us in and itself.
Didn't you just say as well that he had to forego some personal relationships for the family? Like, this was a conversation we had with him 2 years ago as well, about personal relationships and how the family should always be coming first.
No, that is completely. I'll speak up here. That situation that recently happened, that is completely different, and if anything, that's in Carlo's favor.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Again, this is all new information for me. I'm going off what I know, so please prove me wrong. I want to be wrong. I want these books to be open. This family deserves it. I just don't know if he's the right gentleman to sit in that seat.
So, everyone knows here that I have not particularly had any real interest in Carlo Marciano, and for many years, I consider him a lot of the time to be reckless, childish, fucking knucklehead, not fit for, not fit to be a part of this family sometimes.
Oof.
However, I will say that everything I'm about to say is entirely based on what I've come to know of Carlo since he's been coming around and has been around these past few months, okay? I'm gonna leave everything in regards to the Olivia situation and the whole Jabaz thing in the past. I really will, because in my opinion that was left as it was left. The decision was made, and I may have voted at the time to... I'm just gonna ignore that.
It's Tony, most likely.
Tony, yeah.
Oh, it's Tony, okay. I may have voted to have the kid killed, right? But I also remember that out of respect for the brother's decision, or at least I believe at the time Cesare, or whatever the circumstances were. Myself and Mikey agreed to let the kid live. We changed our votes. So I will leave that in the past. The boy I've grown to know these past few months when he's been coming around is a very different version. He is still childish, in my opinion. He's still that knucklehead. However, he is more dedicated to this family now than I think he ever has been. I think he does show initiative in certain areas to get stuff done. He often moves certain product far faster than anyone else. You can't argue that Carlo's relations with people in the city is actually advantageous to the family in many aspects, even if he is fucking around and, flirting with a lot of women or doing whatever he does. I thought for a good while that was just him being his old self. However, for you who don't know, there was a recent situation with someone called Shay. She's, I believe still is, someone who works at the Blue Pearl, serves drinks, and Carlo and her were getting somewhat close and we're good friends. However, recently he surprised me in that Shay basically lied to us or whatever, right? So some information was spilled and we determined that she was lying to us. Carlo, without fucking hesitation, slapped her on the face and put a bullet in her mouth. And for someone who I thought was very connected to his relations he was making out of the city, in the city, but outside of the family, I did not expect them to throw that away so easily for the family. It did surprise me. So there are many aspects of Carlo Marciano that I have grown to appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are still many aspects that he does not possess. If we were to go off the list, Sonny, the 4 virtues being discussed, I believe only one of those, in my opinion, Carlo would fit, and that is that he would die for this family. He would 100% leave it all on the battlefield. Every other aspect, though, I still do not feel that Carlo Marciano can fulfill that bill in any other area. Business, certainly not. Speaking for behalf of the family, I'm not confident at all. He has grown to be a different person than he was, but if you ask me if he's ready, anywhere even close to getting his button, the kid has got a lot of maturing to do. He's got to prove himself in many different areas, and even if he doesn't get his shining moment, in my opinion, he's nowhere near close.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss each one of the pillars that I mentioned earlier in turn, as we did with Joey. But again, these are just initial remarks being made. I know, Pearly, you'll have something to say. Sophia, you as well. Alfonso, Tony, I'd like to hear you all out before we discuss each one of those pillars. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Scapo said it best. He's matured a lot in the last couple of months. He's, we can make no mistake about it. He would put his body on the line for the family as well. I think with these personal relations that he's, personal relations that he's creating now, he's doing them to garner information and create connections. So his whoring that we like to joke about, it could potentially lead to some good business for us, but that's potentially. And I feel like at this time being, it's I don't think he's ready either. I think it kind of like with the whole Joey conversation, there's a lot more to be shown before he's ready to get his button.
Okay. All right. There seems to be general consensus already. But Pearly, Sophia, go ahead. Tony as well.
You can go ahead, Sophia.
Okay. I'm also
Probably's gonna rip him a new
gonna
one.
be talking more about more recent things because we all know what's happened in the past. I'll say a couple things that's concerned me, and then I'm actually gonna say some good things as well. When it comes to making decisions on behalf of the family, one recent example that I was concerned about was we met up with a lady from the ranchers, McFarland's ranch, the rats, vigilantes, whatever. She was asking to meet Carlo, I believe specifically, but then we all came along. I don't think she expected that. She was asking for medical help for the Cucamonga kid. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And Carlo started off the meeting talking to her, and he did say, probably not from our end, but I might be able to give you some names of other people that could help you out. That's when we stepped in and said, sorry, but no, it's not going to happen. We have no interest in helping you out. Sorry. If we weren't there to do that, he might have given out some names of people that we know, for example, say Magpie, other medical people, involving them with these people who are vigilantes, which would look terrible on us. So that is one example of why I think maybe he doesn't always have a full understanding of what the family would want or what it is that we represent. He also has a tendency to blur out inappropriate comments when we have visitors. Like when Magpie came over for a talk with Santino, I had to verbally shut him down in front of her because he was about to say something outrageous. So I would really like to see him start, and we need to tell him this, I think, more directly. Start thinking about how you carry yourself and represent the family. And don't make us all look like fools. I would really like for him to start thinking about that. However, I will agree with Sergio that he has done a lot of good shit lately. He has used his lady connections more so for information. He does come back with information often right now, which is great. But it is a risky thing to do. Flirting to get information could very, very easily turn to become something really bad. Let's see, what else? There's no doubt that Carlo would die for any of us and bleed for any of us. I mean, he saved my life not too long ago when those nobodies came up and came around and shut up the house. I don't doubt his loyalty in that way. But as a maid member, he has a long way to go for me.
Okay. Antonio, anything you'd like to add?
Late, Carlo has excelled in many aspects.
Food.
He's, he's been a
I
good
have no
fucking
food.
kid.
Sorry, do you
I
want
have
water?
food. I have food. Sorry, Tony.
Continue, Tony.
He's been out garnering information for this family, putting his wife at risk. He's been procuring deals for cocaine and dedicating his time to learning these products for the benefit of this family.
Thank you.
I
Enjoy.
will say, as of late, he has been pretty good. But there is that childish behavior I do see at times. I deem it to be a bit concerning in some aspects, whether it be in a meeting or if we were to be going head to head with somebody. He's a loose fucking cannon. I don't know. It's hard to say, really. I'd love to hear more from people in this room today, though.
It sounds to me that from what you all are saying that he's done recently, it sounds like he's starting to become the soldier he should be then recently, which is good. But that's a long time coming, if you ask me. Also, I get that his flirting and things is his way of getting information. I don't necessarily think that's required way of getting information. Joey and Max seem to do without it. Honestly, I find his attitude towards women pretty disgusting, quite frankly embarrassing. Yeah, just an addition to this whole childishness that he displays on many occasions. I think it sounds like he's doing some good work, and that's great. Long may it continue, but yeah, it's taking too long to get to that point, if you ask me.
Okay. Well, there already seems to be a consensus. Don't even know if voting at the end will be particularly necessary, but I suppose. Oh yes, Pearly. Yeah, go ahead. Forget. You have the one I wanted to hear the most. Go ahead, Pearly.
Right. I don't think he wanted to, but what we should keep in mind is we've known Carlo for years, right? A couple months of good behavior is nothing. It's fucking nothing. He's had years of fuck-ups. The only thing I trust the boy to do is shoot his goddamn gun. And that's it. Carlo would have to do something so exceptional for my blessing. And I would hope for anybody else's blessing around this table. Because the one thing we cannot do is let our standards drop. There's a reason why the book's been closed for so long. Because we ain't had nobody we would even consider. So follow-up question, why the fuck was Carlo even considered?
Because I think he's earned quite a bit in the last few months, actually. I think I've seen a lot of change in Carlo. That's why I brought him up. I think he's a very good example of having gone rather through enough growth where you would consider he was at the very bottom to now being one of the people that, I look forward to having around quite a bit. I'll make my own arguments here. What's that? Sorry.
I said months do not compare to years.
No, they don't. But we can't deny somebody's growth. We can't deny somebody's development just based on that, right? I mean, sure.
I don't
think
know.
The consensus here is that the consensus here will be that he doesn't. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's growth or if it's a mood swing. You see what I mean? That's all I say.
Fair point.
Pearly's right.
Go ahead, Sonny.
Yeah.
Look, we all know. Let's talk about the pillars then, specifically. All right. We all know Carlo has bled for this family and continues to bleed for this family to this day. We've seen it even recently. He's willing to die. We know that. He's been an exceptional soldier in times of war and in times of peace, even. I don't think there's any argument against that. Does anybody have anything to say about that?
I would argue exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been a soldier.
He's for sure
done what he's been told to do.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So nobody will argue against him earning that check, at least. He's a good soldier. He will bleed for this family. He would die for this family. In terms of money making, earning, I've seen certain, initiative on his end. We recently had him try to sell cocaine here in the streets in Saint-Denis. He's gotten out of his way to hire other people to help him sell that cocaine. So he brings other people under his wing for a business. He creates a model that if you will, that will work for him. And he's going about doing that even now. He is capable of earning money. He is capable of seeing the task of earning money through, even if it means bringing other people into the fold. That money then trickles down to the family eventually, one way or another. Decision-making and leadership is where I question Carlo. No doubt. Will he make the right decisions for the family? I think he's getting there. I don't think he's quite there, in my opinion. I think I've seen better judgment from him as of late than I have throughout the years, but Pearly makes a good point. Is it a mood swing, or is it a genuine change? Suppose only time will tell. My biggest issue is his leadership. I don't think people respect him enough. But I would make the same argument. I think he's getting there. If he continues demonstrating the things that he's been demonstrating over the last few months, I have no doubt he'll get there eventually. No doubt. With other little things that have been mentioned, like his past, his episodes and whatnot, I would argue for those that haven't been around, you haven't seen him as of late. It's difficult for me to take an opinion like that seriously when you haven't been around to see it. You haven't been around to see if he has changed or not.
I am definitely taking what you all said about him and what he's done recently, but what I'm saying is it's not enough. That needs to be a continued thing, and I would not be surprised if it isn't continued. So I need to see more of it.
Consistency is
I'm
important.
I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying it's not enough, and it's taken too long to get to that point.
Fair. That is also a fair point. No doubt. No doubt. As to
people-
Carlo's whoring, he's I also had the same opinion of it. It seems childish. It seems it seems like he's a schoolboy, if you will. A little too sexually and romantically aroused to really take seriously, but I've come to learn that he uses that as a tool. That is a weapon that he uses. The rest of us have different ways of approaching things like getting information, getting people to trust us, getting people to open up to us. We do it differently. Hell, I do it differently to everybody here in this room, and we each have our own ways of doing it. But Carlo's ways is that's what he does. He uses that as a tool for his benefit and for the benefit of the family. That's my opinion of it. At the core, I think he knows that we don't take that seriously at all. We don't consider his whoring really to be precisely that.
Well, I respect what you're saying, but the fact that we're still calling it whoring around, people who have been around recently, to see him progress, to see this these changes he's made recently, they're still calling him the kid and the boy. It still shows that he's still immature and that he hasn't progressed to that level of maturity. He just hasn't regressed to that level of maturity to justify earning his place at this table.
I'll say this, right? I do not think that Carlo Marciano does what he does and flirts with the women he does and entertains the women he does, and just everyone in general, simply to get information. I think it's a pure byproduct. It's passive information that comes his way. I do not think it's calculated. It's not cunning.
Yeah, I think we're giving him too much credit.
It's in my opinion, it's a complete byproduct of what he does, that he sometimes gets information. I don't think it's calculated at all.
I will say with that, I feel like it's something that, we got to kind of see a lot more from. Just, if that's going to be, we got to see if it's successful or not. See if it is just, a byproduct, or if it's actually his main way of gaining information.
I also agree with Sophia that it's a dangerous way to do that. I mean, he gets in bed with the wrong person. I mean,
we were
Look at
concerned
August.
recently with the August, exactly.
Yeah,
with Barton.
Barton, yeah.
Mm.
But we have to, if we're judging that by what is dangerous and what is not, then other things have been even more dangerous to that extent. I mean, Mikey going out west and infiltrating Annabelle's crew out there was 10 times as dangerous as Carlo whoring around with somebody.
but that was...
So if danger is the measure, then it isn't really the biggest of crimes, what he's doing.
No, danger is not the measure. What the measure is whether it's intentional or not. Mikey did what he did with complete intention. Getting this guy is going out there, changing the way he talks, the way he acts, everything. Carlo Marciano acts the way he acted 2 years ago. He's not changed in any manner whatsoever. And the shit with August, again, was not a calculated risk. That was him putting us at risk. We're lucky it went the way it went. Because he was he was doing whatever he was doing, and August was entertaining him whilst Barton and August were together. Now, if Barton was not... Actually, we don't even know if Barton knows about this, and as far as we're aware information-wise, Barton doesn't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
So, it still very well could be a threat to the family.
Could have jeopardized a good relationship as far as I'm concerned.
Vanguard, the longest-standing ally of us to this point,
Hey.
was almost thrown.
I think he said that Barton was no longer a part of the Vanguard.
Yes, that is the case now.
That is correct.
However, he was entertaining, and August was entertaining him long before those splits happened with Barton and Vanguard or whatever, and Vanguard and August and Barton. So it was risky.
Just potentially risking a relationship with Vanguard, but also Barton and whatever crew he has left. I mean, I have a meeting coming up with him. I mean, that would also risk relationship there. I don't think, I agree with Sergio, I don't think Carlo is doing this kind of thing intentionally. I think he shacks up with women and uses getting information as an excuse for doing it. I don't think he has any intentions of working for the family when he's doing these things.
Look, the way I see it is...
Real quick, Effie. So you see it as Carlo doing it under the guise of the good for the family, when in reality all he's trying to do is knock boots.
I mean, yeah, that's how I've always seen Carlo. I don't think he would suddenly change.
All right.
That's how he's always been.
Look, the way I see it, August is the prime example of why Carlo's whoring thing could be beneficial, all right? Yes, it is risky, but so is anything. Again, bring Mikey as an example. We're lucky, more so than, in my opinion, more so than we are with Carlo in August. We are lucky that Mikey was never found out. We're lucky.
That was damn good.
He was.
Sure.
It was
It's
So
different.
if what I'm saying about Carlo using this whoring thing as a tool is true, then he's damn good at it. We can't deny the kid that. He's damn good at it. Just like you're damn good at what you did in that instance with Annabelle. Now, if it weren't for Carlo's good relationship with August, she would not have come to us with the information about Cole. She would not have come to us with the proposal to have him go undercover that day with her to that meeting with Cole, to hear it directly from his mouth about what he was intending to do with the opium. That right there is a perfect example of how Carlo is using that, what he has with August, to get information that benefits the family. And let's not discard the fact that he did that to begin with. That he also not only used that relationship, because we could have sent Max that day, but we sent Carlo, who dressed up, put on a guise, and attended a meeting and put his life on the line, essentially, to get information for the family. So yes,
He did,
I'm not
he
saying
did.
your arguments are wrong. I do not want to downplay anybody's arguments here. But we cannot deny the good things that have come from Carlo as well.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to see, though, is when he has this good thing going with August, he needs to let up the flirting with other women and potentially creating issues with that. Like, he needs to focus on one thing at a time.
Well,
That is fair.
some might argue that it plays in Carlos' favor to do this, because it's not just Shay was also an informant to some degree. She gave us information, right? And Theo too, right? We could go down a list if we really wanted to, but Santino, what I think is being, in my opinion, misrepresented here is, again, the intention behind it. I still believe it's a byproduct. I don't think it's calculated. I'm not disregarding the positives that have come out of it, but whilst we're sat here at this table discussing whether somebody deserves recognition, I don't believe it's worthy of recognition in the sense that he deserves anything for it. Anyone can stumble upon, a gold mine as a byproduct, right? If I'm out doing shit and I run across someone with $1,000 in the pocket and he's down the road, that doesn't make me a valued individual. It's lucky.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, right? Essentially, we're just lucky that the information, the thing with August turned out good. It could have gone the other way. It's no comparison to what Mikey did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, we wait a bit longer, see how it goes. You know, just give him the time, see what comes of it. Because at the moment it's only August. And I don't know much about what happened with Shay, but maybe Shay. But, you know, we'll see how this goes with him.
There's value there, but it's schmuck's value, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else want to give an opinion then? Before we inevitably have this vote and see where it goes, although I'm sure we all know.
Pearly, you've been hemming and hawing over there for the past 10 minutes.
Well, I just thought the conversation would derail in a little bit. Going off topic, but I'm all good to go for the vote.
Yeah, let's carry on with the vote, Santino.
Bene. Starting with Antonio then again.
It'll be a no from me.
Mikey.
It's going to be a resounding no for me, with the stipulation that I'm going to make an effort to be around more often and see these improvements and let him change my mind.
Bene. I respect that. Scarpo.
Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me with the similar, intentions behind it. He's got a lot of growing up to do.
Okay, Effie.
A no from me, and yeah, let's just leave it at that. No from me.
Pearly.
Nope.
Alfonso.
No, for now. Maybe in the future we could maybe come back to it. See if he does mature and grow up, and see if this information, comes to anything.
Bene. Respect that. Sophia.
It's a no from me too.
Cesare.
No from me.
Bene. It's a no from me as well. That being said, does anybody think that this is worth pursuing with Carlo? As in, I suppose another way of wording this question is, does anybody think here, genuinely, that Carlo could earn his button?
No.
Okay, so this is going to lead to a bigger discussion then. A no from Pearly. Does anybody else agree with Pearly?
Yeah, I gave you my thoughts on it the other day. I don't never see that. Things would have to miraculously change, and for a long, long time. But there's a lot I can't forgive and I can't forget.
Some
I don't want to
soldats.
say... Sorry, go ahead.
Some soldats will remain soldats. Not everybody gets their button. And that is okay. They're gonna have to live with that. I agree with what Effie's saying. It's gonna take a lot. And it's gonna have to be continuous, long term. It's gonna take a lot from Carlo Marciano.
Agreed.
Mikey?
Well, I was just going to say that it's not going to be a solid no from me permanently, but it does need to be a lot. It needs to be a big change in a big way for an extended period of time. And like I said, I'm going to make an effort to be witness to that more often.
I'll say something here. Carlo's ways and the way he operates, one might call it volatile. However, if you're looking for somebody to potentially produce something that is, as we keep saying, outstanding and excellent, you need a situation that can be volatile, that has the potential to go either disastrously wrong or exceptionally right. I actually do think Carlo could someday earn his button. It would have to be resounding for that to occur, though. And as I've been saying, he needs to mature a lot. But it could happen.
I even feel like, though, if he did do something exceptional tomorrow, it would still be a no from the majority of people around this table because of everything else. I think there needs to be maturity and growth in all aspects, not just his one exceptional thing.
However, it would be taken into account down the line. But yeah, agreed.
Alfonso, Sophia, what are your opinions? Do you think he would ever have a chance of getting his button?
Sophia, I'll let you go first.
It's a big maybe, but I'm not going to rule it out entirely because if it's one thing I'm learning in life is to never say never. You never know what's going to happen. It would be a very long time before anything like that could be true, but I also think that we need to be better at putting expectations down for Carlo. Set him straight when he acts out. I don't see it happening a whole lot.
Very true. Very true. Good point.
He does get away with a lot. I think that is partially because we see him as a kid and as an immature boy. We brush it off as it's just a kid. No, he needs to be brought into line.
Also true.
Indeed, yeah. Alfonso, Tony, do you have anything to say with regards to him ever receiving his button?
Well, I completely agree with Sophia. At the moment, no. But I wouldn't say no forever. You know, like a lot of people can't change. And I believe he can. I think we gotta wait for him to mature. And compared to a lot of us here, he's young. But I think now, at the age of 26 now, he has to show himself as a man and not be known as the kid or be seen as the kid to a lot of us now.
He's 26.
Yeah, he's 26, you know.
Yeah. Tony, anything to add? Anything to say?
Well, I will say that the boy's on the proper course. He has impressed me as of late. And I think with due time, good things are going to happen for the kid. Not only for himself maturing as an individual, as many people have stated here, but also in terms of what he can provide for this family. He's got it in him, you know? I see that more than anybody. And as I've seen it in all of you, I've gotten your buttons. He's got that heart. And one day, I truly do believe he will have his button. And if not more, succeed some of us in some of our ways. There is a possibility, yes.
Okay. Now, the reason I ask is because the whole discussion with Joey was finished with the idea of, okay, well, he's not quite there yet, but he could be. And we all want to push him along in that direction. We all want to guide him to check off all the boxes that we need to be checked off for him to receive his button. But it doesn't seem that that is the case with Carlo here. There have been strong opinions about him just simply never receiving his button. I don't think that's particularly fair. I think it would be unfair to close off the idea entirely. And so I will challenge Effie, Pearlie, with that idea. Because if you're simply going to vote no forever, then let it be known now, regardless of what Carlo does, miraculous or not, Effie. Regardless of what he does, it will be a no from you. Is that what we are to understand then?
Honestly, I can't see him sustaining this growth that he's on for long.
No, but if he did.
I really don't know. I can't answer yes or no on it.
Well, if that's the case, then it's a no, surely.
I don't know.
If you can't answer yes or no, then it's a no.
I really struggle with Carlo, to be honest. I kept a lot of my opinions on this back because I didn't want to just, I didn't want to go over it all, but...
Well, you're here now. Like, we're here to discuss these things amongst the buttons. If there's ever a time to talk about what's on your mind and with an
to answer the
individual...
question, no, I don't see my opinion changing.
Yeah, I'll say this. As it was mentioned, Carlo, he is 26 years old. Not a young boy, not a necessarily grown man. But I do find it naive to believe that somebody will just completely change the course of their life, for better or worse. I think people just grow in whichever way they've been growing their whole life. Whereas Joey, he's growing in a good way, right? Carlo's got a past of bullshit, and he's probably gonna keep on going that way.
I disagree. If you put a stick of bamboo and tie a root to it, a tree will grow along with the bamboo. You tilt that bamboo to the right, the tree grows right. You tilt it to the left, it grows left.
But we're talking about a whole tree.
I think Carlo. No, he's immature. He's young. We just made that comment. He's 26.
He's 3 years younger than me.
He's still growing.
Could have fooled me.
He is. If he is starting to mature, then we need to grab that root, and we need to put a bamboo shoot on it, and we need to do it now. That's the only way I'm ever going to see him getting his button. Someone needs to take him under their wing directly.
All right. Well, I'll put it like this. I have no faith in the kid of one day becoming a made member of this here family. If somebody wants to take that responsibility and raise him, so to speak, adopt the boy, so to speak, I wish you the best of luck. I'm not going to sit here and say no for the rest of my days just out of spite. It's not the case of that. But I don't see a realistic situation where I would be saying yes.
Okay, that's where I agree. Is that someone does need to take him under their wing, and it's going to be hard work. I ain't no denying that it's going to be hard work. It's going to be difficult, and I'm not going to blame you if it doesn't work out.
I don't think anybody needs to take Carlo under their wing. I just think he needs to be, as I said before, brought into line when he's fucking up, because he's been getting away with too much shit for too long.
He should be under all of our wings, essentially.
Sure. Well, yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe I misworded it by saying he needs to be taken under someone else's wing rather than everyone needs to pay attention. We need to call him out on his shit. Sophia, you said you've been starting to do it. You had to call him out in front of, was it August or someone?
Magpie.
Magpie? Yeah. It's a strange name, like Jabaz. But, you call him the fuck out. And Sergio, you do the same thing. Fonzo, Sonny, whoever else is at those meetings. If he's doing something, still call him out and say, no, that's not how you do this anymore.
The wider issue is that if he never learns, I have seen changeman recently. I have, I'll admit that. He has changed in certain ways. But if he after we've all been trying to guide him in the right direction here, after this discussion, if he never changes, then I don't know what to say to that,
If he never changes, he's never going to become more than a soldat.
I feel like he's had so many opportunities to, though. Like, how many more opportunities are we going to give?
Well, what do you suggest?
It's not about giving opportunities. I think the opportunity will always be there for somebody to earn their button. Always, in my opinion. It should always be.
Opportunities to change and to stay on the right path, but he continually doesn't.
Well, that's a broader discussion. If, as Sonny's saying, someone may just stay a soldat forever, but if you're suggesting that Carlo's worth less than he's, having around, then that's a whole nother topic that I guess we've glossed over once before, but
Oh, we didn't
That-
gloss over it once before, but that's a whole other day.
No,
May
That's a big comment, you know.
the last thing
Ma'am,
I'll say on it, Pearly, sorry,
Go ahead.
is
No, go ahead.
I admit I have kind of washed my hands of Carlo, but I will endeavour to help guide them on that path going forward. And I will rescind what I just said about saying no forever. I will give him this one last opportunity to change and to change consistently. We'll see how it goes.
Now,
Perfect.
I don't want to prolong this meeting no longer than it has to, but just out of curiosity, is there what brought up this opening of the books? Was it a lack of opinions, or do we have too many opinions that hold the family back, and we're looking for fresh ones, or what's the deal behind it?
Tony suggested or proposed Joey Smith for his button. That's what opened this discussion.
Oh, I see.
But then Santino proposed, or maybe suggested, Carlo Marciano. A wider discussion to have, and that's what we've been having.
All right.
Does anybody think there's anybody else that is worth considering for a button at the moment?
No.
No.
Again, I haven't been around, but I do want to say, while I was around a few months back, Palladini was doing so. He's a strange character, don't get me wrong, but he was doing some good work. So I don't know if he's worth keeping an eye on. Maybe not. Never mind.
Again, a good soldier.
He's got.
I agree.
But who doesn't?
I believe with this conversation that we've had, we have established that Joey is in fact a great, phenomenal soldier. Carlo, is Carlo, and that's about it.
I will say I think Joey Smith's more than just a phenomenal soldier.
What is your opinion?
All right.
Of course.
Then that finalizes that then. Yeah.
Just before we part ways and separate, I think it's worth noting, while we're all here at this table, Santino did bring up the concept of there being 4 founding pillars of what a made member of this family should be. And when we leave this room, perhaps it'll be a good opportunity for us to all look inward and see, do we represent those pillars? Each and every one of us. For those of us that aren't around so much, sure, we can maybe leave out earning right now. We have earned in the past. But everything else, just take that into consideration.
Santino, I don't know if
Hey, Nephilim, thank you for the 18 months.
are gonna discuss this today, but I know we brought up the idea of associates to soldates.
That's right. Yeah. That was in relation to Max, I believe, right? And Joey Stranzetto, who we weren't sure if they were soldiers, actually. That was the root of that conversation. I think
They're not.
the
Yeah.
opinion was
I
that Max was
apologize.
not, and Stranzetto may have been. I don't remember exactly.
No,
No, he's never
Joey
been.
Stranzetto is not. I thought it might have
Okay.
been, but that's on me. But again, record keeping overall is flawed. We know that.
Yes, yes. So the last thing that we should try to do here in this meeting that we have, everybody, is try to list down everybody in the family and everybody associated with the family. Bear in mind, this is not the same as discussing the 10 beds in the house, if you will, okay? This is not the same as that. This is a very different topic that we're discussing here. The topic I'm discussing here goes back years with certain people. But I want to go down from top to bottom. Who is a part, or has been a part, of the organization of the Family DiCenzo, and what role they currently have. Now, after you said you have it all there in your head, I respect it. I do not. Unfortunately, I do not. Clearly, everybody in this room is a made member of the family. just to be sure we're not missing anybody, are we? Even somebody who could not be here as of, or rather due to some, I don't know, uncontrollable reason, uncontrollable circumstance that they're simply not able to be around in the crossing anymore.
Well,
They are in New York,
Mr.
perhaps, indefinitely.
Mr. Toscano, but
Furio Banano.
So that's a good one. Furio Banano. I can't. I have an inclination to say that he was a made man, but I don't remember. Was he a made man?
he was, yeah.
Yeah,
Toscano as well.
correct.
Yeah. I believe Oliver was almost like, I think he was almost a capo. I'm not 100% certain on
The
that.
borough
I know he let him burrow.
He wasn't a capo.
Yeah, not assigned capo, but he did lead his own borough, ever so briefly. But yeah. Also Babs. Babs is mate. No, I'm joking. Fuck it.
I don't know if I got lost in the mix there. Olive.
God.
She was made. That's a name from a long time ago, but she was made.
She was made and then disappeared to Panama, and I've never seen her again. Maron.
Olivia was a capo.
Well, she's dead now, so.
Also Oliver.
Yes. Dead or alive, I'd like to just go through the list of names. So, Olivia, yes, was most definitely made.
Amadeo.
Olivia was a capo regime, though, right? Are you wanting the actual title or just made?
No, any title that they have held in the past would be fantastic as well. Amadeo Moretti, correct. Made.
The
I
guy who
don't
dressed
know.
like a bull, what was his name?
Mayday.
What?
Yeah, him.
In the walls.
I don't believe Mayday was ever made.
I think he was capo at one point.
Nah.
Was he not?
Nah. He was never captain.
Okay.
Folks, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to leave this meeting at this point. If anybody needs anything from me, please let me know. But I'll be back
Good
around
seeing you,
tomorrow.
Effie.
So thank you for coming along, Effie.
No worries.
Want to know?
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, Effie.
Good night.
Good evening.
Poppy, was she ever made?
No.
Okay.
Who else? Any other names?
The guy, I don't know enough about this. The guy in the back garden.
Oh, Cotton.
Cotton was never made.
No, he was. He was.
Was he?
Furio Banano shot him.
Some
Was an incident there.
Sorry.
Sorry, say again, Cesare.
Furio Banano shot him, and there was a big issue about it. Led up to his death.
But he was made, you sure?
Fairly certain, yeah.
You okay, dear brother?
It's fucking cigar. It's not my usual.
Okay, Cotton.
Louis Gabrielli.
Buonanima. Rest his soul.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Was Louis made?
Louis was a capitan, our first capitan.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's right. He was. He was indeed made then.
Your cousin, DiCenzo.
Leo. Yeah, Leo.
No, and well, yeah, Leo DiCenzo. There was another one, wasn't there?
I don't think
Yeah.
Leo was
Vinny.
made. Vinny.
Vinny was not made.
No.
Vinny was not made. I do not believe Vinny was made, no. Our cousin, Leo, was not made either. Going even further back, Cesare, all the way to the very beginning. John O'Toole. I hesitate to say that he was not made. I think that was a point in time where such concepts didn't even exist for us. I don't think he could have been made if he had. We at that point in time, right? The rank didn't exist. It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's before my time.
Primitive times, if you call it. If you want to call it something. It's before we formed.
Before my time.
Yeah. However, he was our advisor at the time.
Mm-hmm.
A father
He
figure.
was. I think it would be worth perhaps putting his name in that category, even if it was never officialized, if you will. What do you think?
Sure.
Then let's put him in there. Mr. O'Toole, John O'Toole. Let's immortalize him in the records as having been a made member of the family. Dominic. Forget his last name. What was his last name?
Alda Souza.
Souza.
Soldat.
I don't think he was made.
No, he was a soldat. He was a soldat.
And then you gotta include the Fantonis and Soldat.
Fantoni,
Nah, they
soldats
weren't.
as well.
Soldats. Giuseppe DeLucci.
All right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can I have some of that
Spit
whiskey,
on his
please?
name.
Can I have some of that whiskey?
Dead man.
I don't think he was ever made either. I might be wrong on that one.
No, I don't think he was. To be honest, I don't think he deserves to be in the book.
Alfonso Lombardo.
Lombardo. Also, spit on his name. Hatua.
Hatua.
I didn't say
Soldat.
that. I said
Spit on
Hatua.
that thing.
Soldat.
Oh, whoa.
Soldat. Soldat. DeLucci. Soldat. Who else?
Was Giuseppe DeLucci? Sure he wasn't.
Sorry, just quickly, just so. What rank did I'm sorry for bringing her up again. What was Poppy's rank?
Soldat.
It was
Passenger princess. Oh, backseat, back horse, backpack.
careful.
That's insanely rude to
sorry,
say.
it was,
She fought for us. She did a lot for us to make us a lot of money back then. Her and Olive.
Yeah, that was on me. I apologize.
She again. It was the beginning of time for the family. It was something that was in its initial stages. Poppy was somebody that was very close to us. Somebody that was almost like a sister amongst those at the present time. I don't think she was ever made. No, not in an official capacity. Same with the O'Toole. So no, if we were to think about her being alive and O'Toole being alive today, I would say O'Toole would be made and Poppy would most likely not.
Understood.
Let's put her in the books as a soldat.
Va bene.
I think that fits. That fits. Who else? There was a man. There was a man that we is likely resting there to this day by a pond just north of Emerald
Red.
Ranch.
Red. I remember talking about him.
Mm-hmm. He was a soldat, or rather, I think this was also back then in that moment in time where the structure did not exist. But if he were here today, he would have been a soldier.
See.
Big Joe, for whatever it's worth. You know, he's a soldat, right?
I don't remember.
No, I don't think he was ever made.
Yeah.
Sold that.
Don't think
I
he
would
was
have
ever made,
considered he was
yeah.
associated, not a soldier. Yeah.
Fought some battles though, for sure.
Yeah, he did.
I would like to say Joe is a soldat, but could be wrong.
You'd be
Norman,
correct.
in his very brief stint, I think we did make him a soldat.
Yeah, pretty sure he was a soldat.
It would surprise me if he wasn't, with the amount of he was in a lot of gunfights, a lot of
Wait,
battles.
who?
Last
We still
name?
talking
Big
about
Joe.
Yeah.
Norman. No, Norman. What about Norman as well?
Wait. Joe, last name who?
Bucci.
Right. Big Joe.
Joe Bucci, that's right.
And
You put
Norman,
Doug
though.
in there. He's a soldat.
Norman was a soldat.
Doug's not a soldat, is he?
He is a soldat.
Doug
Himself
is a
and Joe got
soldat.
brought up at
Doug
the
is a
same
soldat.
time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had the
Sammy.
twins, right?
Fantonis.
Yeah, the Fantonis. They were both soldats.
Both was yeah. So that's actually Danny and Leo Fantoni, right? Both soldats.
Yeah.
Sammy, that more falls under your realm there, Tony. Was Sammy a
Gravano?
soldat? No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Sonny,
yeah.
Ferragamo.
Oh, sorry, it's Italian names.
I don't think he officially was, to my recollection. It was only the two from that regard. And
I
then
think-
Palladini, who I later brought up.
I think he was a soldat as well.
Was he?
Fairly certain, yeah.
Very well.
You gotta understand, a lot of people came and went.
Mm-hmm.
The lines blurred a little bit, but
I mean, Mr. Wu, Mr. Antonio.
also soldats.
I was about to mention them. Yeah.
What was the street kid's name? Babs' brother.
Otto.
You talking about
Babs
goddamn
alone.
Otto. Is he ever a soldat?
No, I don't think
Hell
so.
no.
No.
I think it was Otto
Neither was-
Parsons, if I'm not mistaken. Otto Parsons or something. He was.
I know we mentioned. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think he was ever made a soldat.
No.
Surprises me that
Wasn't
Babs was even
there
made a
a-
fucking soldat.
Wasn't there a guy called Jilly or Jill something?
Chile, yeah, he's
Yeah,
not.
Chile
He was,
was,
he was
yeah.
truly
Yeah.
associated. Yeah, that never even.
I mean, that goes for
Got
like
close.
Nelly, so Nelly as well, associated, but not a soldat.
Yeah.
Babs, are we sure Babs was a soldat? Are we sure?
I think we all had a broad discussion down at a speak about whether she would be a soldat, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people voted no, because she was so not material.
Wasn't made for this
Sissy?
life. Oh yeah, Sissy, of course.
Yeah, Sissy.
A soldat. Is that what you're saying? Sissy's a soldat?
I think so, right? She was a soldat.
Yeah, to see as a soldat.
Mm-hmm. Sloan. Can I forget Sloan?
Yeah. Was she a soldat? I know she was medical for a
She
while.
was soldad.
Fucking
She a
stupid
soldier.
head.
Indeed, yeah.
What about the girl, the musician, the one I saw
Nope.
running away?
No, that name is going nowhere near that book.
She wasn't in the family at all, was she?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just checking, just making sure.
I don't even know who
I
you're
don't-
talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I can't remember her name. Hakto indeed, but I can't remember. Okay,
Mm-mm.
okay,
Mm-mm.
never mind. All right.
Anybody else? I mean, Sophia, I'm assuming you're taking note of all of this, correct?
Yes, I might have to go over it to make sure everybody's name is correct and things after, but yes, I am.
Got it.
Hey, oh,
What about the
Go ahead.
gardener?
Fuck off.
how
many gardeners have we hit? Which
fucking
one?
gardeners in there?
At least
The-
a dozen thousand of them.
The soldier gardener we have. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck it, if we got fucking gardeners in there, might as well just put your bass in there whilst we're at it.
Shut up.
Hey, Howard's
Hey,
story was a good story. Not a soldat though.
The howitzer. The howitzer.
Wasn't there a British guy you guys have spoken about before?
Henry. You're talking about Henry. Henry,
Williams.
what was his name? Henry Williams, yeah. I don't think he
Never
was
heard of
ever
him.
a
Yeah.
soldat.
Guy was a schmuck.
Yeah. Made a market point about fish and chips whenever he could. Fucking still can't believe that's even a thing.
Yeah, fucking sickening. I bet that guy must have been a schmuck.
Mm-hmm.
Winchester.
What happened to him? Oh, Winchester. He's definitely a
Ah,
soldat.
Oh, Winchester, yeah.
I think Henry
Soldat.
died
A
at
great
some
soldat.
point. Yeah. May have died overseas.
Talking about Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Who else? I can't remember any other names.
Wasn't there another Moretti?
There's I
Betty?
don't know right now, but no.
No, he was around at the same time as
Oh.
Amadeo.
Yes, what the hell was his name again? Was it
Talking
that
about
big-
Tony.
He was
cousin?
the big guy.
Tony.
right?
Tony.
Tony Moretti.
Oh,
yes. Big
He was-
Tony Moretti, yeah.
He was associate, very close to getting his way to becoming a soldat, as far as I remember. But I'm pretty sure he never made soldat. I remember telling
I think
him
that's
already.
right. I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
He was
too.
getting there though. He was close.
Interesting
Good guy.
man.
Solid.
Mm-hmm.
We said Babs and everything already.
Capo.
Head of the family. Famiglia Babs.
God, you remember that one time when she came back with like a boyfriend, and she was just like telling us all these fucking ludicrous things that she did, and all of us were just like fucking stunned by it. Like I had some stories, but she came back with some stories that I just can't even speak about.
How about
Before she
Tuesday's
was-
brother, Eugene?
Yeah, Eugene. Mm-hmm. Two Snakes' brother. Yeah.
I remember when we had his corpse, his headless corpse upstairs in the bedroom.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't remember why.
Didn't
No, because Babs brought his ass over. You remember she was crying about it, carrying his body, talking about, oh, he just needed sleep, he want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic.
I remember that.
Who's the guy who always was talking about his
It was,
sick
it was
mother?
very
I
tough
think
for
you guys
Babs,
killed
no
him.
doubt.
Mayday had a brother. What was his name?
Emmett?
Emmett,
Yeah, it wasn't
no.
Emmett.
Emmett,
Oh
Emmett
my
McDowell.
god.
He was
Oh my-
associated. He was not a soldat. He was not anything. He was
Yeah, Emmett.
Oh, it was Dom. Yeah. I
Emmett.
think we mentioned him already though.
Just to be clear on Antonio Corleone and Mr. Wu. Soldats, right?
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, sold out.
Okay.
They went
Somehow.
made. Hey, at the time they were doing what they needed to do. Okay.
Corleone was a part of the boroughs to some degree, but Wu, I don't think ever really did much.
No, Wu was there as well. Wu and Antonio, they were in the borough that I was in
Yes.
under Oliver.
Yes.
I do remember Wu, specifically
Vito.
Wu being involved in a gunfight, actually. Very interesting gunfight with Delaney, I believe, actually.
Oh, that was. I
Oh,
remember
is that
that.
when y'all took little carriages out?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
I got to put on the outfit again. Oh, I missed that.
I'll say so weird, like.
Vito. What's his last name?
Catalano?
Oh
No.
shit, that's an
a
old
long
name.
time ago.
That's an old name.
Accidente.
Yeah, sure, that.
Bless you.
Spelling?
Accidente.
Nah, Accidente, yeah. Vito Accidente. Acarente? I don't know.
Sounds like he's scared of something. Like it's a phobia.
Acquirente, if you will. Acquirente.
Acquirente.
Sounds like a spell.
Buongiorno.
Starts with an AC. That's ACQ.
Lamy.
I don't think he was ever made a soldat either. Very close.
No. Anybody else? God damn. These fucking names bring back a lot of memories. Anybody else?
There's got to be some street kid out there. Somebody
there's gotta
that
be
got
a
promoted when
name.
they shouldn't have been, or something. Did you all
I mean,
talk
well,
about some
forget
guy that had no shoes all the time, but we dressed him up in a suit?
Bear.
Oh
Fuck
my
me.
fucking god, Bear. Oh
Jesus,
no,
we don't.
no.
I hesitate to even talk about Bear.
Keep
You remember
Bear
that
out the books.
motherfucker?
Keep
How did he sound?
He came across and it was like
sometimes.
"Bear."
Look, sometimes you walk through you ride through Valentine, and then there's some very clearly humanoid on all fours going around. "Ah," you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Wasn't this the guy who couldn't speak a lick of English but was suddenly a
Exactly.
doctor?
I
That was
wouldn't even.
Bear.
I wouldn't
Yeah, I
even
remember-
put
I
him at
remember that.
associate. I would put him down, or not, I wouldn't even put him down. But if we did, I'd put him
House
down as
pet.
a
Yeah, put him
Yeah,
down as family pet. The same
put him
as
next
Oliver
to
the
Don
cat.
Oliver.
Don
Yeah.
Oliver. Put Don Oliver on the list.
No, relax with that. All right, he was just an associate. That's all it was. Just put him down as an associate. But yeah, that man ended up, I think, studying medicine, becoming a doctor, wearing a suit and tie, but no shoes. No shoes.
Speak a lick of English. Or American.
And then he became very fluent in English. Yes, I remember that.
Bear corduroys.
Who else? Cesare, way back in the day, at the very beginning of time. Genesis, if you will.
Ah,
The British girl. I remember you talking about her during the you mentioned her during the Lang Gang days.
You're talking about Elizabeth?
I don't know. Is it Elizabeth?
Elizabeth
Isn't
Black.
that the broad? Isn't that the broad who like ran roads? I was telling you like ran roads.
that's- Yeah, she had something to do with
Elizabeth Black
roads.
the guy
Reese Colton.
with Reese Colton.
Yeah,
Mr. Colton, yeah.
Jesus
But no, she was
Christ,
never with
these are
us.
some names.
Right. Okay.
Blue.
Blue.
Oh.
That-
Hmm.
Remember Blue?
That's a color. It's not a name.
She was,
No.
she was a friend of the
So was
family.
Red. Associate at best.
Oh,
Even
Poppy
pushing
had a
it.
friend. What was her name?
Blue.
Blue.
No, it wasn't Blue. It sounded like Blue, but it wasn't Blue.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know what I
Oh,
mean.
okay, yeah. No.
Did it start with a G? Was her name would start with a G? Oh, what was her name?
Should we just put
Georgie.
them down in the book as Poppy's friend?
Poppy's friend, not Blue.
Not worth mentioning if we can't, or rather, not worth writing down if we can't remember
Yeah,
her
okay,
name.
yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Grace. Her name was fucking
Oh,
Grace.
it was
It was
fucking Grace. Yeah.
Oh my
Grace.
god, that memory.
No, Blue was somebody else.
Yeah, Grace and Poppy were very close, but I think that Grace was just a friend of the family. Is that right?
Yeah,
she
Yeah,
did a
yeah,
lot of
exactly.
med
She was like a
work.
doctor. That's right.
Yeah, see.
Anybody else?
3 years ago, like, we had fucking motherfuckers coming through the door every day.
That's what I was talking about with the gardeners. I mean, these guys showed up every other day and was like, "Hey, I'm a gardener now," and it's like, "Okay, see you later." Never saw them again.
Yeah, but they're not worth it into no book.
No, we
I
ain't, we
think
ain't gonna
there's
have
an
them.
infinite list of associates, infinite, and it's also, the definition of an associate could be very loose, right? So, there could be an infinite amount of names there, but we should try to remember all the soldats. Are we sure we got all the soldats?
Pretty sure we did, yeah.
I'm not even sure we got all the soldats, to be honest. During the Burroughs days, I mean, it was so many.
We was about 30 strong.
And we
Yeah,
were
we
more.
were,
we were,
If you,
yeah.
Oh, the
if you
good
remember,
old
we had to
days.
separate the brothers out. Like,
La
they were their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the five fingers of Saint Denis or something. I can't remember.
Good times.
5 boroughs.
The golden age.
Good times indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so we don't have to go over the list specifically name by name, Sophia, but how about a count? How many names are in there?
Oh God, hang on. Do you mean the soldats or like all the names I just wrote down?
Well, everybody, but main members would be, a category as well, but a total first, and then, if it's not too much, by the way, if it's too much, we could do it later.
Yeah, give me a second.
I'd say it's close to 50. All time.
With associates,
I think it's more.
probably.
It'll be more that you can't remember.
Yeah, I think if we're going all
Yeah.
time, I think we're going 70s.
Yeah.
Talking about
I got-
1896 when we first got here. Go ahead.
I got 38 names that we just mentioned, and that is excluding the people sitting around this table and some of the ones that are currently around. So I would say we're around 50 names, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, excluding people that are currently around?
Sitting around this table.
Yeah, so
That's just the old names in that list.
Yeah, I just wrote down all the old names now, so I have to also take into account those who are around these days.
I want to see a family
There's
tree.
probably
You know what? I'm gonna work on that. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nice.
family tree would be great, yeah. Okay, so we have 38, but then we have to add the 9 people that were in this meeting today, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that'll put us at
47.
47, right?
Mm.
Anybody else?
I mean,
I mean,
this-
folk like
doesn't include people like
Paladini, Max, goddamn,
Yeah.
Joey Smith. You know,
I mean, Paolo and all that as well.
yeah, it'll probably be around 50, 55, maybe.
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of time too.
There's a lot of time. A
You
lot
think
of time.
that, but 5 years?
Nah, it's
Very
more than
long
that.
5 years.
It's more
I
than
know
that.
it's a
I've
it's a
been
very
before,
long.
yeah.
It's a very long 5 years.
About 8 years.
Where you get 8 from?
1896.
1896.
I thought
96.
99 is Cesare 99.
Not 1896.
Yeah, if you go back to the history books, you'll see the brothers got here in '96, if I recall correctly.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yep.
You sure you ain't got that hand? You sure Saint Denis not been flooded with this this heroin yet, Saturday? You sure you ain't got your hands on it? 96.
I
got
just
Yes.
remember somebody saying back in the day saying 99, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but that's some old, war veteran
Yeah.
shell shock. Back
that was
in
a
my
good year.
day in 1890.
Hold on.
It was
Good night, Tony.
99.
Good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
What?
Oh, I thought you
Huh?
said you're.
No, he
What?
said 96. That was a good year. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what he said.
okay.
Oh,
Now, I got a boat to catch shortly, but I did have a telegram about that cocaine thing. If somebody wanted to take a walk with me down to the telegram station, I can pass you the telegram and the number.
Yeah, let's get
If you
that
want
from
to
you.
follow up on that,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
have to
trying
go
to take
down to
everybody. All right.
I have just
We
one
would've-
last important question.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
What is Max's last name?
I have
Who
no
the hell
idea.
knows?
Great question.
Just
Fantastic.
for Max. Like when he introduces himself, he just goes, "I am Max."
Okay. Max.
Nobody knows his last
I am
name.
Max.
Got
Got
it.
it.
It's
Okay.
Maxwell.
So this meeting over?
Yeah.
I'm going to
no,
bed,
it's
guys.
just, you know,
Okay,
Gotta-
because
I
I'm
gotta go.
sitting on a turtle head for about an hour.
Yo.
I've been awake for like 12 hours today.
Oh, look at this
Good night, Cesare.
wonderful.
Thanks
Look
for-
at this
thanks for coming.
beautiful smoking room in here. Look at
I'm
this.
gonna have a poo in here.
Gorgeous.
Oh God. I'm gonna have to evacuate.
fantastic.
It's
It
just
is
beautiful.
actually quite nice.
Whoever put this room together needs to be shot.
This better not be a den. No. Looks like a
about
den.
Oh, somebody's knocking. Who? Could it be?
Harley, I think. You let him in.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's probably. We're wondering where the fuck we're at.
It's a goddamn dust bowl out there. Yeah, heard me.
Damn.
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to sleep here in the back room.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Why don't we just meet back here, Pearly, in case it's so bad at that.
I'm not coming back here. I'm going to the telegram. I'm gonna send it to you, Sonny, and then if I can find Scooter's telegram number, if I can, I'll just send you what's in that telegram.
Okay, Pearly. Quick thing though, you taking a boat tonight?
Yeah.
Because I need your opinion on two things.
Well, ask me right now.
Marcel, how close of a friend is he? Because we were considering going to war for him.
Going to war for Marcel. What the hell?
Yeah, you see, I need to sit down with you and talk about that.
Ah,
Also-
fuck.
The Vanguard and our relationship with them over the last year and a half plus. I'd like to get your input on that since there's been a recent development. They've split. Squeaky Pete is no longer in charge.
I can
Maybe
do
tomorrow.
about. No, I could do about 30 minutes if you want to go over that real quick.
Okay, all right,
I'm gonna go get that telegram, bring it back here, and then we talk about it.
sounds good. Yeah, I need to go there anyway. So,
Hey,
all
good
right, you
night.
guys, you staying, Cesare? Okay. all right.
Max.
Sophia, you staying?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit work on that list. So just knock when you guys come back.
Sounds good.
All right.
Check my telegrams too.
All right, guys. I am fucking exhausted. I've been awake for a long time today, so I'm actually gonna just take it easy, go to bed, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a really fucking good meeting. Yeah, I'll see you guys around tomorrow. I think we're gonna be doing rivals tomorrow throughout the day, taking advantage of the new season. So I will catch you guys laters. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for all the resubs as well. King James, thank you for the 27 months. And everybody else that also resubbed. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And take care. Brush your hair, guys. I'm going to go send you guys over to Croc. Good night, guys. Laters. Buona fortuna. help crack Z sends his love, alright? Enjoy the show. See yous.